The Ballon d'Or isn't decided in October, it's decided right here, right now, at a World Cup. History has proven this over and over again. Players who arrive at a World Cup as contenders leave as either Ballon d'Or winners or forgotten footnotes. And this summer, 5 players have everything perfectly aligned to walk away from the 2026 World Cup and straight onto that Paris podium. But here is what makes this race different from any Ballon d'Or conversation we've had since Messi and Ronaldo dominated the award for over a decade. The race is genuinely wide open. And one player on this list, I promise you, is going to genuinely surprise you. Welcome to Pitch Logic. Football explained, ranked, and debated. Let's get into it. One critical rule before we start. The Golden Boot goes to the top scorer. The Ballon d'Or goes to whoever controls the narrative. It rewards moments, turning points, match-winning performances on the biggest stage on Earth. Keep that rule in your head for this entire video. It explains everything. Number 5. Harry Kane. Let's open with the player most football fans are sleeping on heading into this tournament. And I want to show you exactly why that is a mistake. Kane just completed one of the most statistically dominant individual seasons any striker has produced in the history of European football. In the Bundesliga alone, he scored 36 goals in 31 appearances, averaging a goal every 66 minutes. 4 hat-tricks in a single league season. Bayern Munich scored 122 Bundesliga goals this season, a decades-long record for the division, and Kane personally contributed 36 of them. That is nearly 30% of his entire team's goals coming from one player. Add 14 Champions League goals in 13 appearances, and you start to understand the scale of what this man produced in 2025-26. He also surpassed 500 career goals for club and country in February. At 32 years old, Kane is not declining. He is producing the best numbers of his entire career. Now, here is the World Cup calculation. In England's opening match against Croatia, Kane scored twice, equaling England's all-time World Cup scoring record of 10 goals set by Gary Lineker. He becomes just the second Englishman to score at 3 consecutive World Cups. For Kane to win the Ballon d'Or, the formula is straightforward. England go deep. Kane finishes as the tournament's top scorer. The narrative of the greatest striker of his generation finally winning a major trophy writes itself. If that story plays out, the Ballon d'Or conversation starts and ends with him. Number 4. Lamine Yamal, 18 years old. Already one of the most discussed Ballon d'Or candidates on the planet. Let that sentence sit for a moment. The statistics from Yamal's 2025-26 season are not the statistics of a promising teenager finding his feet. They are the statistics of a fully formed world-class attacker. In La Liga, 16 goals and 11 assists in 28 appearances. In the Champions League, 6 goals and 4 assists in 10 matches. He also led the entire La Liga in take-ons, meaning nobody in one of the most competitive leagues on earth was more direct, more dangerous 1-versus-1 than this 18-year-old. He scored his first career hat-trick against Villarreal in February, becoming the youngest player of the 21st century to score a La Liga hat-trick. He finished runner-up in the 2025 Ballon d'Or. He won the Copa Trophy twice, the first player in history to do so. There is important context for this World Cup, though. Yamal suffered a hamstring injury in April. He didn't start Spain's opening game against Cape Verde. He came off the bench and couldn't break the deadlock. But against Saudi Arabia, just 10 minutes into his first World Cup start, he scored, becoming one of the 10 youngest scorers in World Cup history. Multiple analysts and football journalists have said publicly that if Spain win the World Cup, the golden ball goes to Yamal. The logic is almost impossible to argue against. He is the primary creative force for the tournament favorites. The Ballon d'Or follows the story. And that story is being written right now. Number 3. Ousmane Dembele. Here is the name that surprises most people, and here is why it absolutely should not. Dembele arrives at this World Cup as the reigning FIFA Best Men's Player, an award he won after the most complete season of his career. In 2024-25, he was PSG's top scorer across all competitions with 35 goals, the central figure in their Champions League triumph, and the most consistently devastating wide forward in European football. That season turned him from a talented but injury-prone player into a genuine world superstar. In 2025 to 26, he continued exactly where he left off. In League One, 10 goals and 7 assists in just 22 appearances. The fourth highest goals per 90 minutes ratio in the entire division. In the Champions League, 8 goals and 2 assists across 13 appearances, including scoring the crucial penalty in the final against Arsenal that helped PSG lift the trophy for the second consecutive season. 2 Champions League titles in 2 seasons. The Best FIFA Men's Player Award. A 2018 World Cup winner's medal already in his collection. At 29 years old, Dembele is at the absolute peak of his powers, and peak wide forwards at major tournaments are historically terrifying for defenders. His opening game at this World Cup against Senegal was mixed. 1 shot, 26 passes, limited space to operate. France will need more from him. But here is the crucial context. Dembele has never scored at a World Cup or Euros. That is the one gap in an otherwise extraordinary resume. If this is the tournament where he finally produces those decisive big-game international moments, the Ballon d'Or narrative shifts dramatically in his favor. A Champions League winner who finally delivers at a World Cup. That is an irresistible story. Number 2, Kylian Mbappe. This is the Ballon d'Or story football has been waiting to tell since 2018. Mbappe is 27 years old. He has been anointed the future Ballon d'Or winner since he was a teenager at Monaco. And yet, despite everything, the records, the goals, the relentless production year after year, the famous golden ball has never been his. Let's look at the numbers from 2025 to 26. In La Liga, 25 goals, finishing as the division's top scorer. In the Champions League, 15 goals, finishing as the competition's top scorer. Only Cristiano Ronaldo has scored more in a single Champions League season, with 17 back in 2013 to 14. Across all competitions, 42 goals in 44 appearances. That is one of the greatest individual attacking seasons any player has ever produced anywhere in the sport. And yet, Real Madrid won nothing. No Champions League, no La Liga. And in the Ballon d'Or world, trophies matter. But here is the number that changes everything. Mbappe's World Cup record entering this tournament was 12 goals in 14 games. He has already scored against Senegal in France's opening match and earned the Man of the Match award. France are tournament favorites. If Mbappe carries France to a World Cup title, scoring in the final, leading from the front as captain, the combination of his extraordinary club season and his World Cup performance creates a Ballon d'Or case that nobody else on this list can match. Number 1. Michael Olise. I told you one name would surprise you, and for the majority of this audience, this is that name. Michael Olise is 24 years old, born in London, plays for Bayern Munich, represents France, and after the 2025-26 season he just produced, the conversation about the Ballon d'Or cannot honestly ignore him any longer. The statistics first. In the Bundesliga, 15 goals and 19 assists in 32 appearances, leading the entire Bundesliga in assists by a distance and finishing second across all of Europe's top 5 leagues in that category. 34 total goal contributions, the 12th most in Bundesliga history. He was named the 2025-26 Bundesliga Player of the Season. He won back-to-back Bundesliga titles and the DFB Pokal with Bayern. He was also a key contributor in their Champions League semi-final run, registering 8 assists across the competition, tied for the most of any player in the entire tournament. Now here is what makes Olise the most dangerous Ballon d'Or wildcard at this World Cup. He arrived at this tournament as arguably the hottest player in European football. He scored a hat-trick against Northern Ireland in France's pre-tournament friendly. In France's opening World Cup match against Senegal, he created 4 chances, took 2 shots, and won Man of the Match, despite Mbappe scoring the headline goals. Against Iraq, he added 2 more assists as France secured their place in the knockout stages. Olise is doing something extraordinary at this tournament. He is making France's most dangerous attack in a generation look even better. He is the creative engine, the difference maker, the player defenders cannot figure out. Here is the Ballon d'Or logic for Olise that nobody can argue against. The Golden Ball has historically gone to the player who controls the entire tournament, not just scores in it. If France lift this trophy, and Olise is the assist king, the creative force, the player driving everything, and there is a very real chance that is exactly what happens, he becomes the most compelling Ballon d'Or story of the year. A 24-year-old from London who emerged from Crystal Palace, conquered the Bundesliga, and then lit up the World Cup with France. You cannot write a better footballing narrative than that. The Ballon d'Or follows the story. Right now, Olise is writing one of the best stories at this entire tournament.
So here is the full list one more time. 5, Harry Kane. 4, Lamine Yamal. 3, Ousmane Dembele. 2, Kylian Mbappe. And 1, Michael Olise. Now I want to hear from you. Do you agree that Olise is the most dangerous dark horse in this Ballon d'Or race? Or does Mbappe finally claim it after years of waiting? Drop your pick in the comments right now, because whatever happens over the next few weeks at this World Cup is going to decide everything. If you want football analysis backed by real numbers and real evidence, subscribe to Pitch Logic and turn on notifications. New video dropping this week. Football explained, ranked, debated. See you in the next one.